as always, welcome to the channel. Welcome to ET Jernham Gaming and tonight's broadcast for the Tyler Daniels Racing Next Gen Cup Series, and we've got the championship tonight. Obviously, the championship was a set of two races, but it would ultimately be decided tonight. And it's still going to come down to a handful of drivers. We've got about 3 that are still technically in contention mathematically, but 2 of them are definitely going to have their hands full if they're going to be able to pull it off, and we'll talk a little bit more in detail on those 3 as things get closer to race time. So tonight we're at Nashville Superspeedway as we end the season. These guys are about 17 minutes into this practice session so far. And right now, Noah Davidson sitting with the fastest time right now of a 30.05. Ty Bostic, Owen Lax, Tyler Daniels, Jeremy Gaiman, all in the top 5 on single lap time right now. So far, 3 of the 4 championship 4 are here. And we're just waiting to see if the 4th one shows up. We got Ty Bostic, Jeremy Gaiman, Chuck McDonald, but so far no Ryan Walter.
Putting in. Sorry about that. Not sure exactly what happened there.
And I've gotten word from Paul Valsberg that Ryan Walter is not going to make it tonight. So we'll just go ahead and say that Jeremy Gaiman's path to the championship just got a little bit easier. see Dustin Scruggs there in the 11. We haven't seen him on track in a while, and I talked to him a little bit, and I know that he's dealing with some arm shoulder issues, and he is out there right now, if I'm not mistaken, driving with one arm and auto shifting. So I can't imagine that's too easy to do. Robert Cochran just put up a lap time of 30.23, jumped into the 5th spot, but then Dana Shepard actually just jumped him with a 30.20. That 10 white and purple car there of Ethan Brewer. I think this is the first broadcasted race we've done with him as a member of the league, so that'll be a new guy on track for those that aren't familiar with him. Talked to him a little bit outside of the league, and he's newer to iRacing. Only had it for a few months now, I believe. See Chuck getting loose right there. Just like a lot of tracks, this track is, especially with it being concrete, I think it's definitely makes you susceptible to getting loose on the exit of the turn. and I think we're going to want to be watching guys on the exit of turn 4 hitting the outside wall because it'll definitely sneak up on you. I'm sure we'll have a couple of those before the night's over.
Testing.
Hey everybody, look, Dustin's here.
Yeah, you can hear me.
How's it going, Dustin?
I'm pretty good, pretty good. Out here trying to run a few laps at the Nashville Superspeedway with these guys.
So I touched a little bit on that. Let everybody know that you were out there running with one arm and auto shifting. So what was that like?
Well, actually, we got the settings set where you can't do the auto shift, and so I'm trying to use buttons on my wheel and or keyboard with my hand. So yeah, it's a learning experience to say the least. I didn't realize how much I used my left arm during the race, but yeah, doing it all with one arm is a totally different story.
Well, better better you than me, I guess I'd say, because I don't know how on earth you're quite able to do that and still run. You're still sitting there in the top 10 on speed.
Yeah, that's not too bad. It definitely wasn't my best laps I put down in Nashville Super Speedway. So, uh, you know, but I'm pretty happy with just being able to get out there and run a couple laps. I know we got probably 3 or 4 more weeks before I could really give it a true go, but that was a good fun few minutes there.
Well, I know
We actually
everyone
just
will
we actually just got
enjoy.
back from the opening night for Nashville Soccer Club, someone about an hour ago. So.
So we're right in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, absolutely. I live about 15 minutes north of downtown Nashville.
So have you gone to any races at this track?
Yeah, I haven't been to a cup race. We've gone to the truck race and yeah, I think just the truck race on Friday night. We didn't go to the Xfinity because it was during the day, and I think they do it in July, and it is pretty hot and steamy. I remember the last time after the Xfinity race, those guys were getting out and putting their feet in ice water and stuff. It was pretty hot.
I wanna think that one of the first times that they did it, it was at night, and it seems like we get less and less night races now, and I think it would be nice to bring some of those back, especially like we used to get races on Saturday nights, and that's definitely a thing of the past for whatever reason it is. Obviously, they have some kind of, whether we want to call it logical or not, but
Yeah,
especially in the summertime, I mean, it'd be better for fans too.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it definitely makes more sense in the heat of the summer to do something like that. If they got lights, I don't understand why they're racing during the day anyway. So
So were you able to get any takeaways that we can inform everybody on that's watching as far as what the track conditions are like?
well, I did notice that you're kind of in between fourth and fifth gear. So going down the front straight, you'd need to be in fifth. It starts to kind of peak out, but fourth is really where you want to be coming out of the turns. So it'll be interesting kind of see who's shifting, who's not. The tire wear is obviously going to be a factor. Track seemed a little slick. I think my spotter said it was 106 degrees, so that's pretty hot. Should make for some good racing though, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I'd say with it's a concrete track, and a lot of the times the concrete track provides very slick conditions.
Yeah, I agree. Trying to get your live stream pulled up so I could kind of follow you on some of this action. I'm going to have my own stream on my end, but in order to be able to reference what you got going on. Oh, you okay? You went live there. Let me join there. Like Bob Burlow's not messing around. He's jumping right out there.
It actually looks like it's relatively cloudy right now, or at least the sun's gone behind a cloud for the moment, because it definitely does not look quite as bright out there on the track at the moment. Whether or not that's going to help Bob or not will remain to be seen, but
Yeah, I've been on some teams where they really kind of buy into that. Oh, it's cloudy. I need to jump out there and run my laps, and I know it does impact the heat of the track. I just don't know how much it varies, from minute to minute with the cloud coverage. But uh, if it makes you give you a little bit more confidence that you got the track conditions you were looking for, then hey, more power to you.
yeah, I mean, you'll take anything you can get that it'll help, even if it's a placebo effect type of deal.
Absolutely.
So we didn't see anybody in practice break into the 29s, I don't believe, but we already have one in qualifying. Ty Bostic's got a 29.91.
Yeah, our fastest practice lap, we had one guy, Noah Davidson, got the 29.973. So we're already going past that on the qualifying laps, and I know it's heating up out there. So yeah, Ty Bostic has been holding a little bit back in practice. So I did a lot of watching racing yesterday. I watched the truck series, and I watched Xfinity, and then I watched Supercross, and then I watched a movie after that, and still woke up at 5 or 6 a.m. So I'm a little exhausted, but I have not seen the Cup race today. But I do know that there was a really good finish. I've caught wind of that a few times. I keep trying to avoid it, trying to stay off Facebook, trying to stay off the internet as much as possible. But I do want to check that out when I get a chance.
I'm still starting 12.
Well, yeah, you guys, so make sure that, try not to put too much in chat. That way, Dustin doesn't happen to see anything he isn't wanting to see. But
Well, well, I don't have the YouTube stream pulled up, so I think they're okay if they want to talk about it there. But who knows who's watching this race that hasn't got a chance to view their DVR yet? So
two things sum up that race: crazy carnage and wild finish.
yeah, it's interesting. The truck race was pretty interesting. They were able to kind of send it in there on the entry of turns one and three and make those passes work. But you just really didn't see anything happening in Xfinity other than a little bit of side by side action on those restarts, and of course the ending with the fuel issues. But and I hope that it sounds like the Cup race is a little bit more exciting than that. So I look forward to watching that soon.
I was definitely glad that they had the finish that they did, because for me, there's been a lot of things that I've disliked about what they've done to that track and this type of racing that we've been getting from it. And in a way, I hate the fact that we had a really good finish, because they'll they'll chalk that up as a big win for the track, even though the racing itself is to me it's a little subpar. But I mean, everyone has their own opinion. There's lots of people that really like it, so um, I mean, it's to each their own, of course. But I mean, that's where I kind of stand on it. But you know what they say, everyone's got opinions and everyone's got rear ends. So
That's absolutely true. So you want to, we got to have a variety of different kind of races. So I'm okay with the Atlanta being a mile and a half super speedway. That's kind of unique. But they got to figure out a way to make it where it's not just one line.
yeah, and I think the hope is that in the next couple years, when the track starts to weather more, that um, there may be less grip when they're in the turn, so they might not be able to just run it wide open or as close to wide open as they have been in these first couple years of being there.
Yeah, absolutely. It is to me. It is strange to go from Atlanta to Las Vegas. In my head, those are pretty similar tracks. So for them to be back to back next week, March 3rd at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, looks like the Cup Series is going to be at Las Vegas, and then Phoenix after that, which is definitely another a different kind of track. That one's one of the most unique tracks on the series.
I've kind of felt like that one is another one that has not quite delivered as we'd like it to. Um,
All right,
really
good evening.
exciting
Welcome to Nashville
restarts.
Superspeedway.
We
This
need to
is
get
our last race of this season, and I want to thank
that
everyone
muted.
who participated, and good luck to Joe.
Alright, my apologies on that. Forgot that was still active. Um, yeah, but Phoenix just really good restarts. I think the dog leg is exciting, but I also think that it um, ruins the race in certain aspects. Only because we see guys make a lot of boneheaded moves trying to use that to their advantage. And oof, really unfortunate there for Dana as he lost it off of 4, hits the inside wall, and he crossed the finish line. So um, he's not going to get another lap in.
No, and I don't think they're going to count that one either. iRacing's got it kind of set up to where even if you crash going across the line or right after, they'll give you a irregular lap and not count that. I've had that happen a few times where maybe Bristol, for example, you cross the line going good, but you got it kind of sliding, and then you crash into turn one, and they say, "Oh, that was an regular lap," and not count it. That's always disappointing. Speaking of Bristol, looks like the NASCAR Cup Series is going to be going there after Phoenix. So coming into Tennessee, now that's East Tennessee. Bristol's always a fun, interesting race. I do understand that they took the dirt race off this year, so we're going back to Bristol, but no dirt race this year.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad about that personally.
I think it was worth a shot, and I like where NASCAR's head is try a few things a little different every year and see what works, see what doesn't. You can't just keep doing the same exact thing year after year. You always got to throw in a couple wild cards and see what sticks. That one did not work out as well as I guess so.
Alright, so it looks like that's going to be everybody qualifying for tonight. We're going to pull the points up real quick. Uh, so right now, Jeremy Gaiman, Ryan Walter, Chuck McDonald, Ty Bostic, all in white, uh, eligible to win the championship. But Ty Bostic is 43 points out, so he is not going to be able to win. Chuck McDonald 10 points out, so not mathematically eliminated. It's not going to be easy. He's got a good fourth place starting spot. Jeremy Gaiman is in third, so he's got to finish at least 10 spots better than Jeremy in order to at least tie and then figure out what kind of tiebreakers may or may not exist. So 11 spots better, he's definitely going to get the championship. So um, those two are who we're going to be looking at tonight, because Ryan Walter, who's down 9 points, is not going to make it. Been told for whatever reason he's not going to be here.
Oh, that's disappointing.
And the race info for tonight: Nashville Superspeedway, 1.3 mile oval. The track temperature is 99 degrees, air temp 78. They got 125 laps tonight. Fuel window been reported to be anywhere between like 70 to 80 laps. Pit road speed 45 miles an hour. Unlimited sets of tires, and everyone will get one fast repair. And the starting order: Ty Bostic gets the pole, Owen Lax in second, Jeremy Gaiman, our championship leader, in third, Chuck McDonald fighting for the championship in fourth, Tyler Daniels fifth, Tracy Wooten sixth, Dale Weiser seventh, Marty Brown eighth, Bob Burlew ninth, Luke Desjardins in 10th, Paul Vosberg, rare behind the wheel appearance for him, in 11th. Robert Cochran is going to be in the 12th starting position. Derek Donna 13th. Ethan Brewer, one of the newer TDR members, in 14th. And we know that Dustin is not out on the track. Noah Davidson in 16th, Dana Shepard in 17th, and Greg Langford in 18th.
It was surprising to see Noah Davidson starting in the back after just crushing it out there in practice. I don't know if he just feels like, out of respect, not being in the championship hunt, that he should just kind of stay in the back and pick him off slowly and make sure he doesn't disrupt anything. So I can respect that if that's the case.
Yeah, because I don't think that he posted a qualifying time. We don't have a set rule in TDR that you have to qualify. I know that it's been discussed lately, and it's definitely preferred that you do qualify. And one of the reasons was just because people didn't want others to feel that you're purposely doing it to show off. But that's a whole other thing. We are going green here in Nashville.
Like Ty Bostic got out to a great start, just kind of leaving the rest of the group behind, especially that high line. They just really didn't have anything on that start. Not sure what happened there.
Owen Lax is able to hold on to the second spot. Jeremy Gaiman and Chuck McDonald, Tyler Daniels all stay in their suited positions 2 through 5. It's got a side-by-side battle between Bob Burlew and Marty Brown there for the 10th position.
It's like Ty Bostic's already got a half-second lead over Owen Lax, and Jeremy Gaiman is 1 second back, just biding his time and probably playing it smart, trying to save some tires and stay out of trouble. Tyler Daniels running in 4th, Tracy Wooten in 5th. It's interesting. I did catch that Bob Burlew seems to be running the high line. We'll see how that kind of pans out in the long run. I know iRacing typically, you get a lot of heat in the tires running higher up the track. It's kind of counterintuitive to what you would actually expect, but we'll see how that pans out after 20, 30 laps for him.
Yeah, it's definitely a rather unconditional line. We see Dana Shepard looking to the inside of Noah Davidson. Those are two of the faster guys that we have out here tonight, and they both had to start from the rear for different reasons.
Yeah, I'm really glad to see Dana out here. I've been racing with him for 2 or 3 years now in different leagues, and when I saw him join TDR, I was really happy to see him. He's going to be a good fit in this league. He's got a great personality and a good, clean racer. So
Yeah, I've
he does
definitely enjoyed.
he does a little racing in real life too, I believe.
I've definitely enjoyed racing and chatting with him, and he's part of the DEP racing team along with myself, so he's one of my teammates over there, and and he just got his first TDR win here. If I want to say, was it maybe it was 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I saw that. I remember what you're talking about.
It was definitely one of these most recent Sundays. I'm drawing a blank on which one it was, but
It was interesting. Earlier, you said you brought up the graphic. I didn't see the graphic on my end. I'm not sure if the viewers were able to see that graphic, but notably, I did see that Dale Weiser. He must have sat out the last few rounds. He's actually getting passed by the people that were cut in the rounds before him. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how it all pans out for Dale after showing up for this championship race.
yeah, I know that both Dale and Will went on vacation not too long ago, and unfortunately they had to miss races, and it kept them from being able to advance. And each time that we get into a new round, the ones that advance get an extra 100 points to separate themselves from the guys that are eliminated. But because those guys kept racing while Dale was not able to, they accumulated enough points to still surpass the position that Dale had in the points.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I just want to know what kind of vacation you're going on if you're missing 3 or 4 weeks worth of racing. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I need to get with them a little bit.
Early on here, Jeremy Gaiman, championship front runner, still able to hold his place there in third, while Chuck McDonald, who started fourth, is he's fallen back one spot into fifth.
Yeah, Ty Bosick just continues to pull away. I mean, I'm not sure what his strategy is right now, but he's in a league of his own.
And it's not too much of a surprise. I mean, Ty is always quick, and actually raced with him in another league as well. And there's a lot of competition in that league, and he runs very, very well in that too. So definitely no shock to see him doing really well so far already.
There's a good battle going on back where Dale Weiser is and Dana Shepard, about 9th or 10th place. I think you're right there. Got about 5 or 6 cars just kind of jockeying for position and trying to figure out where they want to be. And I did see Luke put a couple passes on a few people, so looks like everybody's keeping it clean and respectful and getting the job done.
Yeah, Noah and Dana have been able to pick them off one at a time pretty quick so far. They've both passed 8 cars since starting back in the rear. They're up to 9th and 10th now.
We're getting a little into the wall there with Tracy Wooten coming out of exit 4, out of turn 4 on the exit there. Super easy to do here at this track. It just pushes and pushes. The more your tires get worn and the hotter the track gets, it's come out of 4 without hitting the wall is definitely a tall task.
And we had Dana's in-car there for a moment. We did switch to Noah's rear view, but we were still watching Dana, so left him up there on the screen for you all to see what it looks like for him there in his house.
Notably, Ty Bostic has now got a 3-second lead over Owen Lax in second place. Tyler Daniels actually worked his way up to third, and Jeremy Gaiman has dropped down to fourth. Chuck McDonald's still in fifth. And Noah Davidson all the way from the back up to sixth place, so he'll definitely be one to keep an eye on there.
Tyler's going to be putting some pressure on Owen Lax here in just a moment, I think.
Sure, yeah, I see they're about a 10th off from one another, and we've still got a great battle going on, but 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th are all within 1 second of each other, and you could probably even throw in 10th there as well, so some good racing going on for this championship. Yeah, Ty, I'm in car with Ty Bostic. He's definitely he's got the line down perfect. He's shifting. Looks like, yeah, both straightaways, the front stretch and the back stretch. He's shifting, downshifting as he gets into the turns. His line looks perfect. Doesn't look like he's over steering or anything, and yeah, he's got a great pace. He just continues to pull away. 3.4 seconds now. Tyler Daniels has moved up to second place.
Yep, as you were talking to us about it, we caught the back half of Tyler getting around Owen, and Tyler's a very quick driver. He is a little notorious for just being really quick on the short run. Sometimes not as much on the long run. So, but I mean, we're 20 laps in. Still probably looking at another 40 laps probably before we see pit stops if things stay green. So we'll see if how aggressive he's going to be. You know, you kind of have to have a little bit of a mindset to make sure that you're taking care of it. I mean, Ty's got a 3.5 second lead, so it's going to be really difficult to pull him in from that gap, especially without burning your stuff down trying to accomplish that. You see Noah and David still, lap after lap, they are not getting away from each other, and they just continue to pass guys left and right.
Yeah, Chuck McDonald has fallen off the pace. I mean, he's just dropping back. I just watched him get past 3 times. You know, I think he lost 2 positions there and just 1 turn. So I'm not sure if he missed his mark and lost some momentum there, but definitely got to keep an eye on Chuck as he's one of the top 4 in this championship. So
Dana just sent it really deep into the corner. I think he came pretty close to making some contact there with Noah. Got some somewhat close battles going on here in the back part of the field here. Bob Burlew, Tracy Wooten. both fighting right now. Bob trying to hold on to the 10th position.
Yeah, we're approaching lap 25. We just clicked off lap 25. So we still got 100 laps to go, and things are probably going to start getting a little bit more difficult for these drivers about this time on those tires. I didn't run enough laps to know, but I'm expecting that there's going to be a dramatic fall off on tires about lap 25, 30, somewhere in that range. You can see the cars maybe start breaking loose coming out of the turns, and we'll see if it gets interesting, or if these guys are able to kind of hold it together and finish this out caution free.
And speaking of, we talked about tire wear with Tyler Daniels, and Owen Lax is coming back on Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler got around Owen, but he really didn't have much past that. He never really got away from him too much. Owen's kind of kept him in check and keeping him honest, that's for sure. So I did notice Noah Davidson up to 5th place now, so he is coming on strong, and Jeremy Gaiman is just, he's holding his own pace. I'm not saying he's on pace or off pace, but he's still in 4th place, and I'm guessing that he's doing a pretty good job saving tires. Being the number one, ranked number 1 in this league, I think he knows what he's doing. So. I say that, but it is interesting because I noticed that Dana's kind of snuck up on him as well. Noah and Dana have snuck up on Jeremy. Chuck I think he's kind of fallen back still a little bit, but he seemed to kind of stabilize a little bit from when we highlighted him before. Ties up to a 4-second lead over 2nd place. Just doing a quick survey of the field. Looks like Bob Burlew and Tyler Daniels are the only 2 representing Toyota Camrys tonight. So, just a fun fact.
Yes, so they've made it very similar to real life, being the smallest car count manufacturer in the field.
Something I've always looked for in iRacing is to find maybe a league that kind of had a little bit of camaraderie between the makes. You see that in NASCAR a lot, especially Daytona or Talladega. Oh, here comes all the Chevys and all the Fords and all the Toyotas. You don't see that loyalty in iRacing so much, but it'd be interesting if there was a league that kind of embraced that and was able to make that a good talking point. But I think pretty much everything's exactly the same on these cars. Just no difference other than the aesthetics and that logo that goes on it. One car that always catches my eye is Mr. Langford. He's running that Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon scheme. Got the not the Dark Side of the Moon, sorry, it's the wall theme actually. And he's got the prism on there, C&L carpets. My parents own a carpet store themselves, so I usually run a Carpet Express logo on my car, so it's nice to see another carpet company getting represented out there.
I can't say that I ever really got all that into Pink Floyd.
It's okay. We can still be friends, but I will remember that. I mean, I've worn out the Dark Side of the Moon. I probably listened to that 1,000 times. It's an incredible album. It's actually, I think the 2nd highest selling album in history. I'd have to look it up, but it's up there. I think Michael Jackson's the only one that's ever beaten him. Now, of course, Taylor and Beyonce and stuff nowadays. You know, the
Well,
record sales are a little bit different because everything's digital now. But
well, not that it has to necessarily matter, but I want to say that it came just a little bit before my time, so.
yeah, same for me. I mean, I was born in 1984, and I know that album came out probably about that time. And you know, I didn't really find it until I was an adult. And it's kind of a fun experience. That whole album is.
Noah Davidson's gotten up to second place now. See Derek Donna having a little bit of trouble there, getting into the grass there on the front stretch.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just caught somebody touching the grass somewhere, and I couldn't find where it was. They'd already saved it by the time I got back. But yeah, we got Noah Davidson in second, Owen Lax third, Tyler Daniels fourth, and Dana Shepard's actually moved his way up to fifth. Mr. Jeremy Gaiman and Chuck McDonald running sixth and seventh, with Ty Bostic still in first. So I know he's 43 points down, but he's definitely making a statement out there tonight.
I mean, no different than what we see in Phoenix, especially this past year. You know, you know, certain ones may not be eligible for winning the championship, but they're still here to win a race.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like Derek Donna's in there, and the pits already getting some tires. I mean, we're 36 laps out of 125. I think you said the fuel range was 70, 80. So, yeah, if that's any indicator how hard it is to keep tires on your car, you know, I think that proves it right there.
Well, now that Noah has gotten out to where he's got a clean track, I'm kind of curious to see some lap time comparison between Ty Bostic and Noah Davidson, and it's kind of a mixed bag these last 5 laps we've had.
Yeah, it's every other lap, huh? That's
Yeah,
interesting.
they're kind of bouncing back and forth here. You got Ty being faster 3 of them, and Noah being faster the other 2.
Got Paul Vosberg coming out of the pits. He's on lap 38, so he's now a couple laps down, and I'm sure he's kind of hoping for a caution. He's got that DroneWorks logo on the back of his car.
Yeah.
Mission 22.
Yeah,
he's got a really good looking car.
I'm not sure where he got that one from.
Taking it easy, getting back on the track. I thought maybe he had a black flag and was going back in, but I guess he was just trying to make sure he didn't interrupt anybody else's race. Mission 22, what a great cause to represent that on your car. So definitely want to give them a shout out.
So we saw that, you know, Dana stuck with Noah extremely close the whole time coming up through the field, but ever since they've gotten to this pack of cars up here to the front in the top 5, Dana started to fall off quite a bit, and he's not been able to get by Tyler or Noah, and Noah's gone up to second and pulling away from this little group.
Yeah, not sure when it happened or if we ever talked about it, but Owen's gotten back ahead of Tyler. So Tyler's fallen off the pace a little bit. It'll be interesting to see what Dana has for Tyler when he gets up there. And Chuck McDonald has actually gotten around Jeremy Gaiman as well, so that's going to be interesting to see how that pans out over the next 80 laps or so.
So right now he only needs somehow find 9 more points. I'm not really sure where he's going to find them, but you never know. looks like we'll be having some green flag pit stops. If Jeremy somehow messes up and gets a speeding penalty, that could completely change everything.
Oh, absolutely. There's still a lot of opportunities for things to get very interesting by the end of this. Yeah.
We talked about what Ty is doing right. So if we take a look at his in-car, everyone can get an idea of what Ty's doing and his consistency to keep himself out front.
Oh, well, no wonder he's so fast. I mean, he's from Rockingham, North Carolina. You know, he's a big NASCAR fan. Good thing we're not at that track tonight. He might be lapping all the way up to second place.
But he's real nice and smooth. He hugs that bottom right next to the yellow line. Using a lot of throttle control. And that's what you got to be able to do lap after lap.
Yeah, he's absolutely. I mean, he's to have this 47 laps on his tires and he's still throwing it in there like that. That's another level. He's got this car dialed in for Nashville Superspeedway. That's for sure. And he's driving in deep and aggressive, and he's coming out very quickly and making that work and keeping it clean. So he's got what, about a 4-second lead. Looks like Noah might have closed the gap a little bit because it was a 4.5 second. Maybe we should do a little in-car with Noah, kind of compare the difference, see where. Yeah, he's down to 3.9 just in one lap there. It made up 0.2 of a second.
And Noah's line has been a little bit different than Ty's.
Really, yeah. Let's take a look, see what he's doing.
I noticed he didn't shift up to fifth on the backstretch like Ty has.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of neat on these cup cars where you can actually see the gear on the dash. It's actually the first I even realized you could do that on these cars on the replay. You know, most of the other cars you're kind of guessing to see if they are shifting or not. So he's definitely downshifting really early on that back straight, or is he not shifting at all? Is that that's what you said?
He shifts into fifth on the front stretch here. You'll see right there, and then he downshifts obviously into turn one and doesn't shift again until he gets back to the front stretch. He's continuing to knock a couple tenths off here and there, and down to 3.7.
Yeah, I mean, if he does 0.2 of a lap, 0.2 of a second every lap, I mean, he's still got a long way to go. You know, I think the deciding factor on this is going to be who can make the most out of that pit stop. You know, you could quickly lose a couple seconds doing that right or wrong. So we'll see how they shake out after the pit cycles through.
Yeah, I don't think that Ty can afford to let Noah pit before him and get even one lap of fresh tires under his belt, because he will lose a good chunk of that time easily.
Yeah, you got a good point. I mean, what kind of lap times are they running right now? Last lap, I see Ty Bosick was running 30.976, and then Noah's 30.8. So yeah, I mean, not quite a full second on the fall off, because if we remember, qualifying was right there about the 30-second mark, 29.9, 30.1. So I'm actually pretty impressed that they're able to keep that much speed in these cars on lap 53.
I see Dana was finally able to get into fourth by getting by Owen. Now he's looking to chase down Tyler, who's been able to keep it in third here. We talked about how well Tyler would do on the long run, and so far he's done pretty well.
Yeah, last time we talked about him, we had actually mentioned that Owen got back around him. Now Owen's kind of falling back off the pace. Maybe Owen kind of gave it a little bit too much to get to that third position, but Tyler's got a great run going tonight in that Coney setup shop Toyota Camry there. So definitely excited to see Tyler sitting up there in the podium spot and 50 something laps in. Hopefully he'll have a great pit stop too to capitalize on that as well. No changes with McDonald and Gaham. They're still running 6th and 7th. Dale Weiser running mid-pack and 8th. He's usually kind of a guy that plays it smart and saves those tires and fuel. Him and Will both are just great at kind of balancing that tire wear and the fuel calculations. I mean, they've won so many races just by pace, having that right pace. So it'll be interesting kind of see what Dale does as we approach that pitting mark. But I mean, I'm guessing lap 62, lap 63, we might see some people try to split the race in two and balance it out. If I was Noah Davidson, that's absolutely what I would do. And if I was Ty, I would probably pit one lap after Noah. I don't know what they're going to do, but that would be my strategy. Had a car down on the apron on the front stretch, but I can't find out who it was. It might be Ethan Brewer.
Yeah, it looked like we had an incident that we can go back and take a look at and see Ethan here in the 10 Sim Magic.
Oh yeah, he almost took out the leader. Oh, he was trying to pit and he missed his pits. Wow, that could have been a big shake up there.
Yeah, that was definitely a big moment there for Ty, absolutely. And Ethan he's newer to iRacing. He's only been around for I think a couple months now, so something that he'll improve on as he gets more accustomed to everything.
Yeah, when you first get an iRacing, it's just so overwhelming at how much goes into this to get a successful race. Even is it takes a while before you kind of get your head around it. I know it took me a good 6 months, maybe a year before I felt like, okay, I'm not making boneheaded mistakes all the time, whether it's pit stops or not knowing the rules or understanding the politics of iRacing. So I'm glad to see Ethan found TDR so early in his iRacing career. There's not really a better spot in iRacing to be when you're a rookie. So
yeah, Owen Lax just went on to pit road, and Jeremy Gaiman has pit as well.
Okay.
Chuck McDonald.
It's like Chuck stayed out there. Yeah. Yeah, so we're at lap 61. We're definitely in that pitting window, so it depends if you feel like you can stick it out, maybe hope for a caution, or are you going to pit early? I mean, really with a fall off being, 1 second at this point, you could probably afford to stick it out a little bit longer than usual, but and it's not impossible to pass here. So there could be a lot of different strategies that successfully work. Looked like Noah Davidson just got on the radio. I didn't catch what he said, but I'm assuming that he probably said pitting.
We'll watch him here this lap and see what happens.
Tracy Wooten just keyed up, said he's pitting.
If Noah had already called it at that point, he definitely called it really early.
Yeah, maybe he was pressing the wrong button. Maybe he's trying to set his tires and let his crew chief know what he needs done and hit that mic button on accident. But definitely got a lot of people pitting. We got half the field a lap down now. Definitely because of some pit stops. I'm looking at Greg Langford, great pit stop coming out. Now he's running in 11th spot.
And we talked about there being about a 4-second gap, and it's down to 1.7 now.
Yeah, you're right. That's
And I think
that's wild.
if I was Ty, if I had started to notice how much of a gap I was losing, I think I would have probably gone ahead and come in.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. And you got to remember Noah started in the back, so for him to be closing the gap all the way to the leader at this point, Ty's going to have to step it up a little bit, and I know he can. So it'll be interesting to see how hard he wants to push it for that win. Since he's not going to get that championship race, he'll probably at least wrap up a third if he's able to finish better than I forgot his name, but the guy that wasn't able to make it tonight. So
We got Dana on the pits and Tyler Daniels in the pits also. So some of these guys that have been running up in the top 5, and we'll see where they cycle out. I mean, again, they're going to be gaining some time on the guys that were ahead of them by pitting first. So be interesting to
yeah,
see where these guys cycle out. And we got Luke Desjardins, obviously having a really good stop because he's coming out ahead of Tyler. I'm not sure what happened to Tyler. He's all the way back to 10th now.
did he pit and we didn't catch it, or he's just coming out?
He's just now coming out, but
He might have missed his pit
I think
box.
that we've got some. Luke was behind him, if I'm not mistaken. But all right, so
Oh yeah,
here
things are
they
getting a little
both
dicey there.
they're both coming, and Noah
Yep.
was a little bit more aggressive getting to the line, I think.
Yeah, he's really got this dialed in, and he's being aggressive. Looks like he's actually, I mean, just a few car lengths behind.
Yeah, we're gonna watch from this pit lane camera and see how they do gap wise. And oh, there's a long stop for Noah. The gap is
He's out
definitely
now.
big. The gap is definitely bigger than when they went in.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so Chuck McDonald's just got on radio, so he's pitting in. I think he just wanted to get that bonus point for leading the lap, so that was probably a smart move. Ty Bosick already assuming second place, so he's back on the track, and it looks like everybody has pitted at this point. Oh, I apologize because Ty's still falling back because Robert Cochran is I'm showing in second place. Yeah, there you go.
It definitely a smart move by Chuck. I mean, it was something that he probably was going to have to do anyway to try to find another way to get a point. I mean, yeah, he's going to lose that point back because Jeremy will be slotted ahead of him once they get filed back, but he had to find some kind of way to try to find some points somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, leading the lap is always a good little bonus point there. And winning the race, you get a couple extra even. So, because I think we're doing the ARCA point system on this one.
I believe that is the case. Yes. Looks like. I thought Robert was coming in there for a second. So Robert getting some bonus points as well.
Absolutely, he's got a hope and a prayer that a caution comes out for Robert. So.
You can see how much of a difference there is in pace with these other guys that have tires.
Robert just got on the radio. He's coming in this lap. So.
Ooh, that was really close for Noah.
This is a tough track to get in the pits. It gets real flat down at the bottom, and coming off that banking and turn 3 and 4, it's just really upsets the car, and that line sneaks up on you, and as soon as you hit the brakes, the car just seems to want to come around on you on those tracks. So.
We've got a 1.6 second lead between Ty and Noah, and it, as I say that, it just dropped about 2 more tenths. So we'll see if Ty's able to step it up here in this second run to the finish. But as of right now, it's starting to become a win more so than if Noah catches Ty. We've seen some close calls on going onto pit road for both Ty and Noah, and you know, things could change real quickly with one of these lap cars if they were to somehow get in the way at the wrong time.
It's tricky sometimes. You know. I'm a not a big fan of just rolling over and dying if you're a lap car. There is there's a balance there to be had. So a little bit of respect for the leaders, a little bit of respect for the lap cars, knowing that they deserve to be out on the track as well. Don't. I'm not a big fan of asking the lap cars to pull over and basically park and get out of the way. But yeah, I mean, obviously being smart and maybe giving them the preferred line. Not racing like your life is dependent on it, but
yeah, I'm in complete agreement with you there. I mean, they're entitled to the track just as well as any other car, but you try not to necessarily completely hinder the momentum that they currently have.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is everybody. I mean, me and you might be on the same page, but not everybody has the same idea out there on the racetrack on what is right and what's wrong, and sometimes those different mentalities don't mesh well together at that moment, and an unexpected caution could come out at any time with those situations. So,
got a 3-car battle going on right here for the 6th, 7th, 8th positions. Tyler was in 10th when he came out of the pits. He's back up to 6th, so he's gotten a couple spots back. Granted, we know a couple of those, 2 or 3 of those spots were for guys that stayed out, but he did lose a couple.
Notably, Owen Lack is back in 3rd place, so hats off to him for a great pit stop and kind of putting himself back in contention. I know towards the end of that last run, he was starting to fall back a little bit, so maybe he learned a couple things, and this time he'll be able to keep those tires under him and finish this race out on the podium. Definitely a much bigger spread now. I mean, we got Ty Bostic running first. Of course, Noah Davidson right behind him, about a second back. But then it's 8 seconds back to Owen Lax, and then 14 seconds back to Gaiman, and then looking at 22 seconds for McDonald, 22 seconds for Tyler Daniels, 22 seconds for Dale Weiser, and 23 and a half seconds for Luke. And so yeah, we definitely have spread out after that pit stop, and the cream has risen to the top, as they say. So
yeah, less than half the field is currently on the lead lap right now, and this track is a lot more difficult than I think people give it credit. With it being, it is still relatively high speed because it's got a long front stretch and a long back stretch, but you have to slow down quite a bit into the turns, and With there not being a ton of banking, if you're not, getting in and getting out right, and you start to tear up the tires, it makes your corners a lot slower, and you're not going to have any exit speed. So it really affects your overall speed on those long straightaways.
Yeah, absolutely. You nailed the nail on the head there. Couldn't say any better myself. One of the reasons I'm not out there racing tonight is because of this track. Um, Long story short, I got a pretty bad shoulder, or I've had a bad shoulder from my younger days, and I went out and did the Rusty Wallace driving experience at Nashville Superspeedway in October, and the steering wheel was at a really awkward position, um, and it really stressed out my shoulder. And from that point on, every day my shoulders got worse and worse and worse for 2 3 months, to where it was basically just popping in and out of socket throughout the day. So I eventually had to go to the doctor and say, something's got to change, and so that's why I'm all cut up right now and just kind of healing up. But they've repaired my shoulder and stuff. But no thanks to this track itself. And but definitely highly recommend that Rusty Wallace driving experience. That was a great time, and I look forward to going back out there again this year. Maybe not Nashville Super Speedway, but another one. Giving it another go, and seeing if that newly repaired shoulder can hold up this time. So
It wasn't quite the experience that you thought you were going to get.
it is interesting. You would think if I put a few thousand laps on this track that I could go out there in real life, and it is very similar, but there's just nothing to compare the G forces and the feel and the smell of being in a real NASCAR. It's just nothing like it. Um, these guys are running 30-second laps, and I thought I was just flying around that track, and watching the replay of me driving, and I did a couple timings, and I was in the 42, 43 seconds. So yeah, I was kind of putting along there, but in my mind, I was Dale Earnhardt for a day. So it was a great time.
I did a ride along with Christopher Bell back in, I think it was 2019 at Richmond, and
Wow.
he said that he was probably at about 80%, and even that, it still felt pretty darn quick.
I bet, man. I mean, I did the ride along too at Nashville Super Speedway. It wasn't any pro driver like Christopher Bell or anything, so I'm a little jealous about that. But man, I mean, just even coming out of the pits, I was like, dude, what are we doing? You're flying. So it was definitely experience.
Well, there was some contact there between Greg Langford and Paul Vosberg. I don't know if it was any kind of displeasure between the two of them, or if Greg just overdrove and got into the rear of Paul.
Yeah, man. If you got a chance, maybe we could go back and review that. I don't know how easy it is on your system there, but maybe take a look and see what happened.
So we can rewind back to that spot, but as far as any kind of reasoning for it, no, it's not necessarily the most ideal, because we don't have I don't have any kind of indicator that was
Okay.
given to us.
So it didn't even count. It didn't count as an incident point.
Well, the software unfortunately doesn't show us, contact and things. It give us we do get highlights for anytime that people get passed or go off the track, crash. So we don't have any kind of timestamp. If something happened before this right here, it should be going into this turn right here, if I'm not mistaken. It just drives it in really deep.
It kind of looks like they were trying to get out of each other's way. I mean, I'd hate to say that that happened intentionally, but who knows? Either way, it's they've sorted it all out now. They've They've gone their separate routes. So hopefully Paul and Greg are good there. You know, it's interesting that last we looked, Noah Davidson kind of had closed in on Ty under a second, but now we're back up to 1.8. So Ty must have kind of said, you know, hey, I'm gonna kick it up a gear here, or Noah maybe didn't have the same patience as he did last time, or maybe he's saving his tires. I'm not sure what his plan is right now, but
It's gonna be interesting. I
definitely.
mean, 30 laps is still a lot, and I mean, if you start to get to a point where you start to lose 2/10 a lap, I mean, you're looking at 20 laps to reel in that gap. I mean, you start to get when you're chasing somebody down, that starts to get into your head how many laps you need, and you know how many tenths of a second you have to be faster in order to reel it in.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's always fun trying to, you know, pay attention to your line and race, and then also try to do all the fuel calculations and set your tires and everything yourself. You know, sometimes I wish I had a human crew chief with me for some important races, but unfortunately, most of us don't have that luxury. I know some of us do. I know Tyler's had some people spot for him before in real life, so.
Yeah, I'm definitely fortunate in that aspect. Usually at least once or twice a week, Paul Valsberg will help me out in that regard.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
You know, a lot of the times they'll say I don't do anything but push buttons, but sometimes there's things that are useful to where you don't, you know, even though it's something you could do yourself, but the fact that you don't have to worry about it, you just keep on doing what you're doing.
Ooh, Chuck McDonald just got around Mr. Gaiman. Not quite enough to pull off the championship hopes. I don't think, but he's going in the right direction. He's going to need a little help from Jeremy to go in the wrong direction. But I think Jeremy's just playing it smart here. If this was real life, you would expect Chuck to maybe give him a little bit of the business there, going in the turns. But you know, here at the TDR, we got a lot of respectful drivers, so we don't usually have those kind of issues.
Well, you know, if he's not able to pull it off, the best that he could, you know, do is say, you know, I did everything that I could. And he definitely is so far. I mean, he got a point for leading a lap. He's gonna finish ahead of him unless something changes between now and these last 27, 28 laps. So outside of winning the race and getting the pole, he's done everything that has been available to him.
You know, you can't ask for much more. I know a lot of people, especially in sports, you know, kind of base their mentality on if they win or lose, and you know, there's always going to be somebody bigger and better than you are, and you know, what more could you ask for than to go out there and do your best and have a good run, and you know, let the cards land where they land. But I mean, Chuck's doing a great job out there, and hopefully he'll be satisfied with having a great run, and you know, come back next season and see what he's got for him. I think Paul Vosbergs might be back in the pits.
He most certainly is. We actually see that he went off the track. We'll see what happened with that.
You know, it looks like he's trying
He's
trying again to get down to that pit.
trying
So
to
yeah,
get to the
that's good.
pits, and
That's gonna be a black flag.
that's
Oh
a very
man,
unique way of trying to get there.
he got there. But I think NASCAR's gonna, you know, have him kind of hang out in the pits for a little bit extra time for that one. So
All right, well, we got 24 laps to go, and we're back under a second now.
yeah, I noticed that things are kind of tightened back up. I'm not sure. Maybe Noah had some kind of incident or something, or he was just kind of falling back, saving his tires, or what. But yeah, definitely on pace to have a really good finish here. So you know, Bob Burlew has we haven't really had a chance to highlight him this evening, but you know, he's kind of leading that lap down pack. He's got about 3 people, I think, right? You know, pretty close. So I guess it just has one lap down. So he's looks like he's in the field of zone. I was looking at the qualifying times on accident, but yeah, Bob putting in a pretty solid run. I don't think he's gotten in too much trouble or anything. So
His paint
yeah.
scheme has thrown me off a lot lately, where you look at the nose and it almost looks like it's taped up or something along the lines. Almost to me just kind of looks like, and maybe, I mean, it's just the new body style that they've got here now to match the Toyotas on iRacing.
Yeah, I did notice the front end. I actually had to kind of do a double take on his car to find out if he was riding a Toyota or not, because I did notice the front end of it. The paint wasn't quite showing up correctly, or he's missing some logos or something. But all in all, you know, Bob always has a good looking car, and maybe that one needs a little bit of touch up. But I know what he's going for. So
We're up down to 4/10 of a second, 3/10 of a second.
and yeah, this is gonna get interesting. Yeah, Noah Davison I mean, I was just watching from the blimp view, and the amount of distance he closed up just in turns 1 and 2 is just tremendous. Ty definitely drove it in way deeper on turn 3, but coming out of the exit at 4, he's
We're gonna
already up
have
on
a
him. I mean, he's
we're gonna have
looking
a
at the
fight for
bumper.
it right
We
here.
got Dana kind of trying to figure out where to go. Dana stays high. Looks like Noah's dropping back a little bit. He's going to slingshot around, and I bet he gets to Ty's inside on this back straight here. Be interesting to know if he
I think
shifts this time.
if you're Ty, you got to try to find a way to take his line away. Obviously, he's been eating you up. You got to, he's running a little bit higher. You got to try to make him, do something different with his line.
Yeah, I mean, he is just Ty's driving it in way deeper than Noah's. I mean, you see that gap right there on the entrance, and then Noah's just gonna eat his lunch on the exit here.
Oh, and he struggles
But,
like
yep.
getting to the wall
Yeah,
there.
tap the wall. I think
Noah's
that's all.
going to get by here for sure. And I
Yes.
think that he's probably gonna drive away at this point. I think that Ty's been trying really hard, and I wouldn't chalk that up to Ty making a mistake more so than it's just Ty trying to drive really hard, doing everything he can to keep Noah behind, and he's just giving it all that he's got.
Yeah, 100%. It looks like Noah maybe just a little bit more patient, a little way softer on the entry, and a lot stronger on the exit, where Ty is definitely driving in deep. I mean, and that strategy definitely can work as well, but not tonight. Noah's definitely showing that what do they call it, slow in and fast out. He's showing why that is a staple statement in NASCAR racing.
we still have a couple, at least one battle, relatively close battle going on here between
Yeah,
these
the
three guys.
three-way. I would point out that these guys are still on the lead lap, so you know this is definitely a legitimate race. So that it looks like Jeremy's kind of playing it smart. He knows he can lose probably about 3 or 4 more positions and still take this title home. So I know he's not gonna risk too much, but he got Mr. Weiser on the inside taking it, and Tyler's going to kind of just follow him. Also, Tyler still has a great race today. I know he's in 7th and going into 6th. I know he'll be a little disappointed with that, but you know, just watching him, I think he's put in a pretty solid effort. So.
Yeah, as of right now, if my math's correct, Chuck's been able to get 5 out of those 10 points so far. It may actually be 4. But regardless, we know that if something doesn't present itself here within the next 10.5 laps, then Jeremy's gonna hold on to this. And Chuck just making a pass on Owen for position, so there's a point. Unfortunately for Chuck, he will not be able to make any more passes for position this race. He's 24 seconds behind Ty.
No, not without a caution. Yeah, he's kind of, I mean, a podium spot, a championship race. You can't ask for too much more. Coming on lap 117, so just about 7 more laps to go, 7 or 8 more laps. It looks like Noah was not done lapping cars. He's starting to close in on Tyler in that group there, so he might be able to put down everybody but the top 3 if at this pace. And it will be interesting, kind of keep an eye on some of that lap traffic as it gets more congested. Never what you want to see. 5 laps to go and 2 or 3 lappers in front of you that are running a good pace. Not what you want to see in first place, but I'm sure Noah will be able to handle just fine. I'm sure he has a lot of trust in Tyler and Dale Weiser. So. We got 4 guys lap down. Jeremy Gaiman is now a lap down. Luke Desjardins is in 8th. Bob Burlew in 9, and Robert Cochran in 10. And then, as far as the 2 lap down group, you got Tracy Wooten, Dana Shepard, Greg Langford, all battling it out. And then you got a couple other guys, Marty Brown hanging in there, 4 laps down. Derek Donna, 5 laps down. And then involves Fosberg and Ethan Brewer, you know, plus 20 laps down, 39 laps down. So good race for most everybody there, and glad to kind of see it shake out the way it is. Noah was able to get around the lap cars. Looks like Tyler Daniels is not done. He says he wants 1 more position. I mean, that's about 3 or 4 laps. I've seen him kind of poke his nose in there on Dale and make sure Dale knows he's back there. They'll be one of our more veteran drivers out there. I know that he's not gonna be too ruffled up by Tyler sticking his nose in there. He's gonna keep to his line and stay out of trouble. So
Really glad to see Tyler um, out here for the entire race tonight. I know that a lot of times he struggles um, with, being able to hang around for an entire race for different reasons that, I'm not going to put him on the spot and go too deep into that, but just nice to see him out here for the whole thing.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So it's all right. We got 3 laps to go. I don't see anything too interesting to talk about that we haven't already said a few times. Got Noah Davidson kind of starting in the back, worked his way all the way to the front. Took him a couple rounds. He wasn't able to do it in the first pit cycle. Green flag, pits. Was able to kind of take over the lead with about 20 laps to go. We see number 65 get into the wall there. Ty Bostic led a majority of these laps. Started out strong. I believe he started on the pole and never looked back. But as we saw, the driving it in deep um, and the tire wear just wasn't able to uh, keep it up front. Noah got around him. Chuck McDonald just absolutely solid race in third, and Owen Lax is now a lap down as well. So we are lapping up to third place. So everybody on the podium will be on the lead lap unless um, Noah's able to get around Chuck McDonald as well.
Alright, starting from the back, going all the way to the front. Noah Davidson wins the season finale for the TDR Next Gen Cup Series. Jeremy Gaiman is going to hold off Chuck McDonald, and Jeremy is the season 1 of this year Next Gen champion.
Awesome. Yeah. Do we want to bring some of these guys up the booth? I think we bring the race leader and the championship guy into the booth.
Yeah, let's bring Jeremy in first, with him being the champion, and then we'll see if we can't get a hold of Noah.
All right. Yeah. I'll try to drop them down here. All right. I brought Jeremy Gaiman up here. He was muted in the waiting room, but I think that might be part of our settings. Jeremy, do you got us?
Can you hear me now?
Yep, absolutely. I think that was a setting in Discord that we have, so we don't have you know, anything happening in the waiting room when we're not around. But congratulations, um, able to come out to Nashville Superspeedway, leading the pack as far as the points, and was able to finish it off.
Yeah, I just wanted to keep it clean here tonight and not shoot myself in the foot. Just didn't want to try to do too much. Keep Chuck within my sights and just not blow it.
Well, you did a great job. We were watching you all night, keeping it clean, keeping it smart, and we kind of said the same thing you did. You know, just watch it, keeping an eye on Chuck, making sure nothing crazy's happening, and run a smart race, finish it clean, and walk home with that championship. So congratulations on the championship. You got anybody you'd like to kind of thank and wrap up the season with?
Yeah, as always, all the TDR admins, Jim, Bob, these guys for running this deal, Andrew, Ethan, big shout out to you for running the broadcasts and the booth every week this season. I know you're itching to get back on the track, and we want you to back out here running with us in these Sunday night leagues. But we really appreciate the broadcast as well. Just great to have that, and great to have this league. We all really appreciate running in it. It's a great group of guys, nice clean racing, competitive racing. It's just a fun time every week.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, and I appreciate the kind words with the broadcast. I definitely would like to get back out there hopefully soon. I know we're working on getting the broadcast team expanded some so that way we can um, you know disperse the load if you will, so that way it doesn't always have to be one person or two people um, doing it. And I think it's still, I still enjoy it. It's still fun. I mean, and I still get to race other nights of the week, so it's not like I'm not getting to race at all and having to pick between one or the other. So it's still enjoyable either way. But I definitely appreciate that again, and definitely congrats on the championship. Heck of a job. Really good season, and I imagine we're gonna have a week or two break before next season starts up, and I'm sure that the format will probably be similar, if not the same, and you'll have the opportunity to try to defend it and go back to back.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Jeremy. Well,
Absolutely, will be.
definitely enjoy it, and have fun with those other guys, and enjoy the rest of the night.
All right, thanks, you guys. Thanks a lot for what you do.
Thanks, Jeremy. Have a
Absolutely.
great night.
All right. I tried to communicate with our race winner, Noah. Oh, we do have
Believe,
Noah. You do.
yep,
Okay. We
I
do
believe
have
we
him.
got him
Okay.
here.
No, you got us.
Yep, loud and clear. What's going on, guys?
Hey, congrats on that win. You started in the back, came all the way to the front. You definitely made quick work of a lot of those guys, and then it seemed like once you got to tie, at least for a little while, um, your progress definitely came to a halt quite a bit, and then uh, in that just in that late run of the second run, I mean you just started chewing them up. So I mean, was it just a matter of just being patient, or was there something else to it?
Yeah, I mean, at first there were like a couple laps. After that green flag pit, when we went back out, I was behind Ty, and I didn't know if he was pushing it or not. I was just trying to stick to my race and stick to what I was doing in the first half, um, and not get into trying to keep up with him or trying to catch him and just run my race. And luckily, it, seemed to work out in my favor there.
Yeah,
Well,
what?
you did a great job tonight. I mean, we it took us a while to kind of for you to catch our attention. We mentioned a few times, oh, Noah's up 5 spots, Noah's up 10 spots, and then all of a sudden it kind of became Noah's closing in on the leader all of a sudden. So yeah, great job, great pace. We thought that for sure the pit cycles are going to shake some things up, but you guys really kind of had a very similar pit stop. I think you might have even lost a little bit of ground. You closed it back up down to a little under a second, and then it seemed like Ty started pulling away, and I think he almost had 2 seconds on you on that last part of the race, and about 20 laps to go. Um, Things just started coming together, and we blinked, and all of a sudden you were right on his bumper and easily getting around him. So great run tonight, and love to see you guys back out there next season. Hopefully, you'll be definitely competing for the championship if you're able to run this on Sunday nights.
Yeah, no, I definitely will. I would have been here this past season, but I've been out on a back injury. This is my first week back, so glad to be back. Great racing, definitely better than it was last season, I think, and really excited for next season.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Well, welcome back. Ethan, go ahead.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you've got at least one or two guys that I think that you're going to try to bring in here with you, hope maybe for next season.
Yeah, definitely Chase. He's more of a drafting guy. But Dylan, he's my buddy. He runs this league. Owen, I was talking to him before this race actually. He was the one that called it was going to go green the whole time. So shout out to Owen for that one.
Well, he definitely predicted it right. Well, uh, congrats again, and we're glad to have you here, and we look forward to watching you next season.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate you having me.
Thanks, Noah.
All right,
All right.
so it looks like
Yep.
we don't have Ty or Chuck or Tyler Daniels, or Owen Lax, and pretty much everybody's kind of to fizzled out. I mean, the only person I'm thinking we'll get a quick word from Bob. We don't have our fearless leader Jim, but Bob handled everything tonight in Jim's place, and uh, from there we can get some finishing remarks on this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I just dropped him into the waiting room, so hopefully, got his attention. We'll bring him up to the booth and see if he's ready for us. Hey, Bob, is Dustin up in the booth? You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you. What's up?
Hey, Bob, we just figured since you were running this show tonight that maybe you give us a few words, a little summary of what you thought. You had a pretty good run yourself. I believe you were kind of leading that one lap down pack for a while, and I know that they claimed some more victims before the end of it, but good run, and just interested to kind of see what you think for wrapping up this season.
Oh, I think the season was quite a success, and I believe Jeremy won the championship. But I'm gonna have to wait for the guy who actually runs this thing to really make it official. But I think this season overall was a success, and look forward to doing another one.
Well, someone will have to yell at us if somehow Jeremy didn't win it, because we were trying to do the math ourselves. We know that Chuck was 10 points behind, and there was only uh, four positions between the two of them in the finishing order. So um, Jeremy should be the champion, unless somehow the points are not scored as we know them to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no changes or anything. I'm kind of looking at the standings now. They just got updated in iRacing. We got Jeremy Gaiman with 1480, Chuck McDonald 1475, and Ty Bostic with 1445. So pretty much what we had anticipated. Chuck falling just 5 points short of the championship, but yeah, like Bob said, I think this was a very successful Sunday night season for the TDR.
Oh yeah, we're very happy with it.
And this is maybe I think maybe the second season of ever doing any kind of playoff format, and it's a little bit different than some of the other playoff formats where you get down and it's just a one race championship, and this was a two race championship, and it's just whoever had the most points between those two races. So it's just something a little bit different. Whether or not Jim elects to do the same exact thing next season, we'll have to wait and see. And I don't know, Bob, if you have any idea if we're going to have a week or two break. I imagine we'll probably have at least one. Give him time to get a schedule put together. He's also on vacation right now, too, so that's even more reason to expect probably to have at least a week or two off.
Yeah, I'm figuring on probably at least 2 weeks off from his vacation schedule, as he's not even in the country. He's on a boat out in the ocean enjoying himself.
Man,
Well,
is he doing one of those wiser 3 or 4 week vacations? Because I just got to figure out how you guys are doing these.
I think he's gone until March middle, first or second week of March.
Man, well, I hope he's having a great time. I know he puts in a lot of time here at TDR and is able to kind of hold it all together. And you as what maybe the vice president of TDR in a sense. So we definitely appreciate you uh, and all your work on this and coming up with these leagues for everybody. So
Yeah, thank you for that. And yeah, I'm not even going to try to contact him because he needs the vacation from this. So we're just going to wait till he gets back.
Absolutely. Well, Ethan, I'll let you close it out. Bob, it was nice talking with you, and thanks for having me, Ethan.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you
absolutely.
all.
Thanks, Bob. All right, so to conclude everything this evening, we'll go through our finishing results real quick, and we've got Noah Davidson getting the win, Ty Bostic second, Chuck McDonald in third, coming just a few spots short of the championship. Tyler Daniels in fourth, Owen Lax fifth, Dale Weiser in sixth, Jeremy Game in seventh, Luke Desjardins in eighth. Ninth was Bob Burlew, Robert Cochran 10th, Tracy Wooten 11th, Dana Shepard 12th, Greg Langford 13th, Marty Brown 14th, Derek Donna 15th, Paul Vosberg 16th, and Ethan Brewer rounded out the field in 17th. I want to thank everybody as always for coming out and watching, and the support that you guys give, even if all it is just little chatter during the streams. Still appreciate it. As always, you know, we're not here to try to, make any kind of monetary gains or anything out of this. It's just for fun. But, uh, you know, of course, we're doing it for everybody that, family members and whoever it may be that's wanting to watch. But at least then we know that, uh, that we're not doing it for nothing. So, definitely appreciate that. And we look forward to doing more uh, in the upcoming Sunday season, and hopefully more leagues beyond that. Is like I said before, everyone I think at this point has probably heard at one point or another that we're still working on uh, expanding the broadcast. And if you're somebody that you know might want to give your hand at something like this, then reach out to somebody in TDR, and we can try to get you involved. I mean, you don't even have to be, a driver in TDR. Let's just say you're a family member of one of the drivers and you think it would be fun to get involved, and that's perfectly fine. We'll find a way to get you involved one way or the other. You don't have to have iRacing. You don't have to have any kind of software. We got ways of being able to share what's going on the track, to be able to do that kind of stuff. So just because you don't have all the equipment doesn't mean that it's not possible to be involved. So, um, but with that being said, we'll sign off for tonight. Of course, I'll be doing my normal racing throughout the week over on Twitch. So if you guys want to see more stuff throughout the week, then you'll have to head on over there, especially on Tuesday for the TDR truck race. And I know that tomorrow they've got the IROC race at Eldora, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be racing or crew chiefing in that, but if you're looking to watch that, then um, that should be available tomorrow as well. But again, thanks again, guys. Thanks, Dustin, for filling in. Definitely appreciate it. Definitely helps me quite a bit, not having to be the only one talking the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't imagine, sitting here for an hour and a half trying to talk to myself about the race. So yeah, I'm happy to do it. I'm not, uh, you know, maybe not the best announcer ever, but I can at least come in here and talk
Yeah,
shop with you a little bit. So I appreciate it.
I'm far from a professional myself, but I mean, I think people just want to be able to watch, so that's all that really matters. So, but all right, everybody, y'all have a good one. We're out of here, and we'll see you all next season.